Hello and welcome everyone. It's Jean, kept in stitches. And it is Sunday, so it is time for my week in review, where I show you everything that I have been doing in the stitching cottage for the past week. And in this circumstance, for the past 2 weeks, because I was not able to do a week in review last week. So, thanks for popping on and watching this video, everyone. Let's come on into the stitching cottage, join me, and see what I have gotten done, or may still be in the process of doing, as is the situation in some of them. First of all, I want to remind you that I did start a new feature, a new thing for those of you in my Facebook group, which is Friends of Kept in Stitches Quilting Stitching Bee. And if you are interested in that, as always, you can find the link for that in the description box below. So that is where you can click on to join that group. But I have started a Zoom Quilting Stitching Bee on Thursdays, every Thursday, reoccurring Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is exclusive for my Facebook group or private invites by myself only. And to be able to be in that Zoom, all you need to do, if you're in my Facebook group, is private message me and I will send you the link for that Zoom. It is not recorded, it is not live, it is a private Zoom that is just a casual stitching day. You can come and go as you please during that time. We just have a great time stitching on whatever project we are working on. Having a good chat, just a good old-fashioned quilting stitching bee. So I hope more of you will decide to join in with us during that time. And if there is enough interest, I can add Zooms at different times for those of you that may not be a good time. I can add one in the evening on a different day. Just let me know and I will see what I can do to accommodate that. But we have had the last 2 weeks, we have had a great time for those of us that have been in that Zoom, stitching along and just chatting away, having a great time. So next, I have, of course, still been working on Long Time Gone. And I am still, yes, working on the pineapple blocks. I think I have a couple right here. There are some that I actually will show you, oops, also in a little bit. Of course, it's foundation paper piece, so yeah, they still have their papers on the back, but those are a couple of those blocks. I still have 11 of those to go because I had to make a total of 16 of those, but I also was able to get the first section of the quilt piece together. So that is the first section of Long Time Gone pieced together. And there are a total of 6 sections that need to be pieced. I also need to make what she is calling checkerboard sections that are also fillers for the quilt. So I think I have, let me see, how many of those? 9. Yeah, 9 total of the checkerboard sections, and they are all various sizes and they use 1-inch squares. So quite a bit to do on those. But I am actually, excuse me, I am actually yes, working on what I need for each section now at a time, so that I can continue to sew the sections together, because I do have all of the blocks needed for the sections. I just have to stitch more of the pineapple blocks and the checkerboard blocks and cut the sashings, which the sashings are the 1-inch black strips that you see in there, and they are just random. They are not put, as you see, around each block. They are done to join the different size block sections together. So I was able to accomplish that. And then, of course, we have our embroidery stitch of the week, which week ago was the blanket stitch. So that is done there. And this week's, yes, is the French knot, which these are the French knots. I went ahead and for mine, I stamped a sunflower on there because I wanted something a little bit more decorative than just a bunch of French knots going into the square for this week. So the middle section of this sunflower is all going to be French knots. These I have done in stem stitch, which was one of our stitches in an earlier week, and I will be filling in those lines that you see. Also haven't decided exactly what stitch I'm going to do for that yet, but those are the two stitches that we have added in our embroidery stitch of the week. And then we also have our crochet, and everything wants to fall down as I take that down so I can show you. We have our crochet stitch of the week. I'm going to see if that'll stay down there out of the way, which the week previous was this stitch down right here, the pink where my finger is, and the row below it, which was a combination double crochet crossed stitch. And that was the week previous. This week was these 12 rows, which start right down here and go up to here, and that is the seed stitch. And of course we always have threads on everything. We'll pick that off, but those is what we have done the last 2 weeks in our crochet stitch of the week sampler afghan. And I have also been working on Over the River and Through the Woods. Not as much, it's kind of got set to the side, but still working on it a little bit at a time. This is what I have completed so far. Not working on it as much because I am wanting to complete my Long Time Gone, and also had a few other things that I had to work on. So let me see, what else did we get done in the Stitching Cottage this week? I am in an online quilt guild, and we have a challenge each month in that guild, and the meeting is this evening, so of course I had to have that done. And there were 2 things for this month, and the one was we have a block of the month, and a block hadn't been chosen for this month, so we just made it open to either make a 4 patch, doing whatever you want with it, or a 9 patch, doing whatever you wanted to do with that. So my 9 patch is this block, and it is Chains and Star. So that is my block, and you can see it is a 9 patch block, but I have put a tiny sawtooth star in the middle, and then I have the 4 patch right here, but have made it into actually a double 4 patch, and it makes the chain going through the block. So that is what I did for my challenge block. And then the other part of that challenge was to make something, anything that we wanted to. Didn't have to be, you know, a quilt or a quilt item, just could be anything that we wanted to make using our high school colors. My high school colors happen to be purple and white. Purple is not my favorite color, So I had a hard time thinking, what am I going to make out of purple and white? Because I was trying to think of something that it would be that I would use, but I couldn't come up with anything that I would use. So I decided that I would make a couple Wonder Wallets, and I just changed the order of the fabrics. You just open that up and it has all these pockets in it so that you can put your ID, you can put your credit cards, you can put some money, whatever it is that you want. Drop it in your purse, but then, and this one is the same, just has the colors reversed on it. But you can, what's really neat about that is if you have your ID and whatever credit card you use the most, some cash and whatever else, you can just take that out of your purse when you're going someplace that you don't want to take your big purse and put it in your pocket, and you have everything you need. But both of my sisters still live in my hometown, so I'm sure that they would appreciate these in the school colors. So I am going to be sending those off to my sisters after we show them in the guild this evening. So that was my second challenge completed. Also in that group, as I mentioned, we do have a block of the month, and I am the one that is now coming up with those blocks for each month. And we actually have decided that we are doing a beginner block and another block for those that may be intermediate advanced quilters. So I have those done. This will be, and I'm keeping them close to being the same, just so that the one is a little bit more difficult in the piecing or the way that it is put together, but similar. They both have same types of some of the pieces, so that they are, each one is making a similar block, just different, if that makes any sense. Different in the construction and difficulty of it. So this is the beginner block, and it is called Art Square. So that is it completed. And it is a 12.5-inch unfinished, 12-inch finished block. And then for the intermediate advanced is this block, which you see they both had the square and the square in the middle. This has a square and a square and a square. And if you wanted to count that, an additional square, but it is called, yes, I don't know if I said, around the block. So that is the one that is for the intermediate advanced. And they will be receiving the link for the instructions and everything for that this evening. So that was also completed. And then, oh, let me see, what else? Oh, just the other day, one of my people that I love to watch, that is a YouTube content creator, Stephanie Stitches. I'm sure many of you know of Stephanie. She is a fellow Ohioan quilter, and she was doing a sew along for one of her quilt patterns and things that she does, which was her autumn project. So I did go and I ordered the kit for her autumn project, got it the other day, and yesterday was her sew along for that. So I quickly got the pieces cut out, got everything organized and everything so that I could stitch along. And I did get all of the 4-patch units, which there's this one and another one, completed. And I also got some of the star units, not all of them, but I did enough to be able to complete, as we scroll down, the first row of the quilt. So, and if you want to see some of those fabrics a little closer, they are gorgeous. Not your traditional, fall colors, but I love them because they aren't the traditional. I'm not really into your oranges and blacks and browns that you see a lot of in other fall quilts. So really loved the colors in this and the fabrics. So I do have the first row done on that, and I still have everything laying out on my quilting surface there that I'm making more of the flying geese units. And then the other thing I did receive in the mail, for those of you that are familiar with Cotton Cuts and their puzzle mystery quilts, I decided to sign up for that this time. It's my first time doing one, and it is Carnival, and these are the fabrics and the choice that I decided to go with. These do come one clue each month, and then the little fabric packet along with it if you pay by the month. If you decide to go ahead and pay for it all up front, all at once, then you are shipped all of your little packets of fabric, which they are listed, clue 1, clue 2, etc., for the entire 10 months that it is. So I have all of mine in this box that it was, whoopsie, sent in. And then I have the folder already in it, which it has the first clue instructions in there. So that I received in the mail, and I'm really excited to get started in sewing on that first clue. And I think, let me check, I think that is about all that I accomplished, but there's a couple things that I still want to mention, and that is that the next block of the month for the Facebook group, block of the month, which is Stars and Chains, it will be coming out this Friday. So those of you in the Facebook group, keep your eyes open for that. And also, you may have noticed that I use the design boards. I have different sizes of those, and I am constantly using them and working on more than one project at a time. So I decided that I actually needed a couple more of the larger ones because that's what I use the most, and then the next size down. So I have more foam board, and I have this fabric that I'm going to use to put around the edges and make a couple more of those. So I plan to do that this coming week in the Stitching Cottage. Other than that, I do believe that that is everything that I have done the past 2 weeks in the Stitching Cottage. And I may have forgotten a few things here or there, but that's okay. We all have many things that we are working on, so it's easy to forget everything that we worked on. But those are the major things that I was able to work on and get accomplished the past 2 weeks and share with you on what's coming up. There was something else I wanted to, oh, I know what it was. Talking about Stephanie's stitches and her autumn quilt project. I will include a link to her YouTube channel in the description box below as well after this video is over. So thank you everyone for joining me to see the week in review and what's been going on in the Stitching Cottage. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that maybe some of the things have inspired you, and I will see you again next week on Sunday for the week in review. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.